Why do people go crazy on Black Fridays? What makes someone choose a PC over a Mac? How do we prioritize our actions? To know the answers to those questions, you would want to know the cognitive biases. Charlie Munger is a billionaire businessman and an investor. He has created a list of 25 cognitive biases that influence our behavior in some way. Bias 1. Reward and punishment tendency. Everyone is motivated to do something if they can gain from it. Money, recognition, fame, whatever. But everyone is also motivated to do something or avoid doing it if there are punishments, like cancer, bankruptcy, or humiliation. Bias 2. Liking and loving tendency. We ignore the faults and flaws of people or products if we like or love them. Even if the mistake is unforgivable, we're easier to accept it if it's done by our favorite brand or an attractive person. Bias 3. Disliking and hating tendency. We ignore the virtues and positive aspects of people that we don't like. We just hate them because. Also, we blindfold ourselves to the facts and opinions of others. Bias 4. Doubt and avoidance tendency. We hate uncertainty. If we are unsure about making a decision, then we try to quickly remove any doubt by making a hasty decision so that we could be certain again. Bias 5. Inconsistency and avoidance tendency. We don't want to change ourselves and our habits. Our brain tries to preserve energy by being reluctant to change, which is a way of avoiding inconsistencies in our behavior. Bias 6. Curiosity tendency. Curiosity to learn continuously. We also want to know how the story ends, and that's why every episode of Game of Thrones ends with you pulling your hair out. You just want to know what happens next. Bias 7. Kantian fairness tendency. It's the golden rule. Treat others like you would like to be treated. The example Munger uses is letting in other drivers on the freeway, hoping that they will reciprocate in the future. Bias 8. Envy and jealousy tendency. Envy and jealousy come from the need to get access to scarce resources. This happens when you see someone else having that thing that you desire. Warren Buffett says that it's not greed that drives the world, but envy. Bias 9. Reciprocation tendency. We want to return the favor to someone that helps us. So, next time you ask someone a favor, remember that they're expecting you to reciprocate in the future. Bias 10. Influence from mere association tendency. We can be easily manipulated by mere association. That's why brands use famous people to promote their products. We instantly think that Nikes will make us godlike in basketball just because Michael Jordan wore them. I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun to get respect up on the street. Bias 11. Simple, pain-avoiding psychological denial. We have a habit of distorting the facts until they become fitting to our own views. It's easier to lie to yourself right now than it is to face uncertainty and change. You start changing your bad habits only when you get an emergency or when you get sick. Bias 12. Excessive self-regard tendency. We all think we're above average. We're smarter, more attractive, more persuasive than we actually are. Bias 13. Over-optimism tendency. We tend to be more optimistic in any situation than we have reasons to be. Bias 14. Deprival superreaction tendency. This is loss aversion. You much rather prefer to avoid losing something than gaining something. Bias 15. Social proof tendency. You look at other people, their status, groupthink to think and act as they do. Bias 16. Contrast misreaction tendency. We misunderstand comparisons and can thus make poor decisions. This is why you will always buy that item on sale, because you perceive it to be a bargain even if it's not. Bias 17. Stress influence tendency. We will act faster and get more extreme reactions if adrenaline is running through our body. Some stress is good, but too much of it would still be bad. Bias 18. Availability misweighing tendency. We overweight the importance of what's easily available. That's why you will more likely eat fast food right now rather than wait for healthy food later. Bias 19. Use it or lose it tendency. What you don't use, you lose. You lose the skills that you don't use. Bias 20. Drug misinfluence tendency. We're prone to do drugs and get addicted to them. Alcohol, cigarettes, caffeine, cocaine, or any other mind-altering substances included. Bias 21. Senescence misinfluence tendency. As we age, we naturally lose some of our skills and abilities. You're not as strong or mentally sharp as you used to be.
Oh my God, my brakes! Oh shit, my brakes! My brakes!
Continuous thinking and learning helps to alleviate that by promoting neuroplasticity. Bias 22. Authority misinfluence tendency. You tend to follow the orders from higher authority figures just because they tell you so. A great example is the Milgram experiment. The test subjects kept giving a guy electric shocks because the doctor in the room said so.
Wrong. Answer, horse.
Oh, get me out of here, please.
Continue, please. Go right on. The experiment requires you continue, teacher. Please continue.
Bias 23. Twaddle tendency. This is basically spending too much time on nonsense. Facebook newsfeed, Netflix, and procrastination. Bias 24. Reason respecting tendency. Some people just want the answers, not the reasons or a better understanding. There's a study where a person jumps in front of a line and succeeds just because they say the word because. Example, can I cut in front of you because my bus leaves in 5 minutes? Can I use the copy machine before you because I need to print out these papers? Or can I get right in front of you because I think I'm a better person than you? And the answer will most likely be, of course. Bias 25. Lollapalooza tendency. If several of your cognitive biases start working together, they will have a much more extreme effect. The Milgram experiment is a prime example of your brain kicking into overdrive when it's under pressure.
Eventually, the learner pretended to be unconscious.
Continue, teacher.
That is incorrect. This will be 345.
These are all the 25 cognitive biases, but remember that not all of them are correct all the time. The best thing you could do to avoid falling to the trap of these cognitive biases is to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I make videos about how to optimize your physiology, augment your mindset, and enhance your life. Click the like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and leave a comment. Thanks for watching. My name is Seem. Stay biasless, stay empowered.
The experiment requires you continue, teacher. Please continue. Please continue. Please continue.